Ubuntu 1804. All right, so Black-White Angels. This is one of the mid-range decks that we worked on. That was originally a viewer submission that we tuned a little bit and definitely stuck with me. One of the things, these Angel mid-range decks, drop me a DM, Echo, and I'd be happy to unblock you. One of the Angel mid-range decks on last season felt really good, but they really struggled against control. Gaining access to black for cards like Duress really helps the control matchup, which is great. Let's add an OSX command for that. Thank you. One of the things we came to at the end of the last session playing this deck was that I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with these last two main deck threats, and I ended up adding in Tocatli Honor Guard just because this card's really good against green-black mid-range, which again is a deck that I expect to be very present in the format still, and it's also really reasonable against random things like mono red, as well as the other various Prime Speaker Vanifier decks that exist. So one of the things that's important to note is that wine doesn't magically erase system requirements, so your computer still needs to support a 3D video game in order to run it. So if your OS X system doesn't have the beef to run a video game, wine's not going to change that. Tipsykin, thank you very much for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. We've not tried Orzhov Enforcer. I was going to actually mention that card. That's a card that's been impressive to me when other people have played it. That might be worth playing. I think if you were interested in hedging this deck against aggro some more, Orzhov Enforcer is definitely a great card to help you do that. What's going on, Bulletproof Pope? I hope your day gets better. I'm going to lead on Adanto Vanguard here. This card's really good against... This is another card that, like, gives you a good chance against control when mixed in with Duress. This card can be really sticky and tough for them to take out. Why not Mardu Angels? What problem does my deck have that you're solving by adding red to it? Instead of me telling you your idea is bad, instead tell me why your idea is good. What is your idea doing that makes it worthwhile? Sport Court, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. One of the important things to remember is that there's so many different cards you can play in any given deck in Magic. Like, you can't just, like, put cards in because they look good. You should be approaching deck building in a way that makes sense, in a way that goes, oh, my deck has this problem, let's fix it by making this change. Right after that number... 500 Monday, you got up to 1,000. It appears the growth is moving back to the pre-allegiance numbers. Yeah, and Monday I was on the front page of Twitch, so this is actually sweet. So my opponent's representing Settle the Wreckage here, and Tithe Taker says they can't cast it for just 4 mana. Yeah, you Chemister's insight, buddy. Pлагecrafter could be okay. I don't know. I don't know that Pлагecrafter is better than just, like, playing more Vraska's Contempts. Can someone unban Captain Love and just time them out? I clicked the wrong button there. Oh, look, another Tithe Taker that stacks. Nice, Settle the Wreckage. I love this card against control. It's so good against control. Just very, very powerful. And the fact that this card is, like, relevant against aggro, too, because it's 2 bodies, is just fantastic. Like, they're printing so many good modal cards these days. I just love it. I think I like this configuration. There could be some merit to leaving in some Consecrates over Mortify, because Consecrate does cycle when they don't have a creature, but Mortify has the upside of killing enchantment, so I think it's a little bit better against Esper. Yeah, for sure. A lot of cards having modes and being good in a variety of situations, another thing that makes this format very good. I could Coward split it. I don't think that's completely unreasonable. Wallet flex is why I use OG foil shocks in life. So again, playing this card, if you look at this deck isn't playing bad cards. There are a basically countable number of really good Magic cards in this format. So you should splash a color to play this card because it's good isn't a good reason to play a new color. You need to be looking at what our deck is doing and where it falls short, and then trying to fix places where it falls short with card additions. That's how you approach deck building in a reasonable, consistent, and logical manner. You want to be looking at your deck and going, what does my deck have a problem with? How am I fixing that problem by making this change? And then you also have to ask yourself, when you make that change, if you cut something, are you making other things worse by making that cut? And like, for the record, like, I don't think this deck's almost certainly not perfect. It's very new in the format. We likely have lots of things to try. But I only want to make changes if they make sense with what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and just cycle this at this point. I'm going to take their Teferi out here just in case they have Eldest Reborn. Getting to stick a Adanto Vanguard here is really sweet. Get it in under a counter spell. Yeah, Twitch has been having this bug recently where it randomly gets rid of the title for people. Yeah, exactly. Accepting a given weakness and going hard on a specific strength is also a very valid strategy. How dominant do you think Batnext is going to be at SCG? Not very dominant. I think there's lots of decks in the format that have a lot of good sideboard cards against that archetype. Worth noting, they don't have double blue up here, so I am jamming into like a Quench, but they don't have Absorb or Sinister Sabotage up here. And we are rewarded for them not having a counterspell with the best animation out of the new set. I love Seraph of the Scales. Just everything about this card is great. The power level, the animation, the artwork, it's all fantastic. Just very, very well done. Yeah, I watched Allie play the Simic deck a little bit last night. It seemed really sweet. We're actually going to be playing that later today. It's going to be the deck we play 2 decks from now. Do I play this? Yeah, I think I go ahead and play this, because even if they Kaya's Wrath me next turn, I'm going to keep Adanto Vanguard and Seraph of the Scale. It's going to make 2/2/2s. So if they cast a Sweeper, I'm still going to have 5 power in play. But how do you start building a new deck? I don't have time. I don't have to start a streaming empire, so I can offload that to a bunch of donors. Well, if you don't have the time to, like, a lot of time to work on things, you shouldn't be building your own decks. You should start with existing decks. In fact, if you have to ask the question, how do I start building decks? That's a sure sign that you should practice playing Magic with decks that are already built by players who have experience. There's nothing wrong with copying decks that are successful. That's how we do everywhere else in life. Everywhere else in life, we don't expect high school students to invent algebra. We teach them algebra that other people that are very smart have learned over the years. I don't have time for experience. I want to be good now. Yep. Can you explain why a debuff like -1 kills Adanto Vanguard through Indestructible? So the rules text Indestructible says explicitly that a card cannot be destroyed, whereas when a creature has 0 toughness, it's not destroyed, it's just being killed by what are referred to as state-based actions in Magic the Gathering. I'm going to attack with 3 of these because they probably have a Settle the Wreckage here. Really? Okay. Interesting. I like it. I like it. You have dealt 4 to me. Dovin, cute. This is game 2 and we are up a game. I mean, Deploy is a card that's kind of sweet to have alongside Settle because, like, it punishes people for not fully attacking in, right? So one of these here and 2 of these upstairs. This stream is a professional net decking empire. And playing this land out means that I can activate Memorial to Folly this turn too. Does Depose Deploy have space in the Esper Amulet deck? I'm not sure. I'm not sure that it does enough. Can we talk about how good this Fountain of Renewal's been? It's been really sweet for them. It's definitely the reason they're still alive here. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and grab Seraph of the Scales back here. So that way if they have another sweeper, we have some things left over. Because I saved both Adantos here, I actually can't save them again from another sweeper effect. My favorite part about interacting with people on the internet, and this is why people are so wild. People who let off an incoherent list of swear words and can someone, oh, did it take them out of my, who did I just time out? Someone needs to get banned who we just timed out because they just like sent a bunch of like swear words and derogatory messages towards me after they got timed out. Which, by the way, people always ask why people ask to get timed out on my channel. It's to make fun of people like that. I can't find their message at this point. That's sad. My favorite is when they call me a child for timing them out. Like, you know what's childlike? Swearing a bunch because you got punished for breaking the rules. That's childlike. All right, so this means I lose to Absorb, which sucks. So I guess maybe I should have just attacked first. I wasn't thinking because I was looking to. Did not stop and count because I was looking for someone to ban. As someone who is the father of a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, acting like a child is throwing a fit when someone gives you a timeout for breaking the rules. That's very much what children do. Yeah, I think we're gonna lose now. So my deck would have won this game if I'd have taken a second to play, if I'd have taken a second to think through what I was doing, but we're gonna lose this now unless we draw exactly Mortify. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and concede here. We'll play a third game on the play, but the deck would have won 2-0 here if I'd have taken a second to think before I played that Lyra. Pretty happy with how I sideboarded. Hey, look, I found the person. Look at that. Look at that. Children say things like commit suicide. They make fun of really, really intense topics that you shouldn't make jokes about. That's what children do. Having a structured set of rules and then enforcing that structured set of rules, that's not what children do. Screaming profanity and making light of situations that are very serious, that's what children do. Alright, well, that's a nice one to get rid of. They don't have, well, they do have, I say they don't have double black, but they do. They are going to get to Vraska's Contempt this Adanto later, but that's fine. Testament Weekend, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome.
I will gladly point out your inaccuracies.
Yeah, we're pretty dead this game. It's worth noting that, like, Dovin, like, lines up really well against Adanto Vanguard. Seems like a really sweet pseudo answer, right? Because, like, I basically have to pay 12 life to get through it, which is a big deal. I like this use of Dovin a lot. Yeah, I've got an Immortal Sun on the sideboard. I agree that that card's really sweet. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and move along. So I punted the second game, so there wouldn't have been a third game if I wouldn't have punted the second game. We flooded a bit here, but I just shouldn't have played if I'd have played a little bit better. Yeah, there's a deck. For those that are asking about cards that we're playing, there's a deck list on your screen via the Stream Decker widget. You can also type !deck in chat to get a direct link to the deck list. We also timed someone out earlier for saying, yikes, giving attention to trolls. The reason why bad behavior continues to populate and exist in society is because people don't let other folks know that they won't tolerate that behavior. The only thing evil needs to succeed is for good people to sit there and do nothing about it. So by letting someone know, hey, that's not okay, you let other people who are watching know that, hey, that's not okay. Alright, well they missed a land drop, so we're gonna cast down the crap out of this Land War Elves. Stream Decker on mobile is broken. If you're on mobile, you'll need to use the deck link in chat. You have a Mortify for that one. Do I want to kill this one or do I want to play? I think I'm actually just gonna play this out. Is Applebee's is a good place to eat a timeout or a bannable offense? Christy actually really likes Applebee's. It's like mediocre and expensive, but like, you know, there's worse offenses. Just glad you're doing your part to make the world suck less. Thank you for the bits, Oratog. Yes, that's actually right. The whole Gillette commercial is about regular people speaking up. That's exactly what that commercial was about. And people who are rancid, terrible human beings were upset that they were encouraging regular people to point out when people are rancid. I think getting more pressure into play is more important than making them stumble more. If I didn't have another play to make, I would do that, but... Someone asked why I played the Guildgates. Yeah, so if you read this Mana Math article by Frank Karsten, it'll give you the approximate numbers to cast your spells consistently. And basically, to cast white spells and black spells consistently, I need more colored sources in my mana base. Alright, so what are they doing? They're playing like Temur stuff. I think I just want another removal spell. Consecrate's probably a little bit slow. Honestly, a couple of Moment of Cravings to kill their mana creatures is probably more reasonable. Thanks, Isha. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, don't let people get away with stuff. Is Tocatli Honor Guard good? What are the odds? What are the odds they're a Vanasphere deck? Do we think they're a if they're a Vanasphere deck, I want all these Tocatlis, right? Maybe I don't want Moments and I want Tocatlis. Let's try that. I think this one Kaya's Wrath in the sideboard might be silly, and a second copy of the Immortal Sun might be good. I definitely like that card against control in green-black. This hand super reasonable, gets a removal spell on 2, history on 3. So we tried Ethereal Absolution in the initial deck list, and it really just underperformed. I don't think Ethereal Absolution is going to end up being a very playable card in Standard. I think it's pretty lackluster in general, and it competes in slots for other expensive cards like the Immortal Sun that are more impactful. The Memorials definitely hurt our ability to play on curve some amount, but I think they're valuable. They really give you extra percentage points against control, which can be a hard matchup. Rhythm is kind of scary. Hopefully we hit another couple of lands here. If we get to curve out to 5, this game will probably be in a good spot. If we can, like, Adanto plus cast something down next turn. Can you post the list for Esper humans, perhaps later on your website? So, not everything I play goes on my website, but everything I play does go on my YouTube channel. So if you go to youtube.com/Jeff Hoagland, you can find all of the deck lists there from the previous day. If you click videos on my website and then click standard, you also find them there as well. And there's deck lists that you can easily copy in the video descriptions. So do I want to cast this down and attack? I think I want to cast this down and attack. I don't want them to trade with my 2/2, because next turn this is going to attack for 4. So I hit them for 5 here. Hey, Ball Rathamir, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people you can give that to every month. Thanks for supporting mine. And, like, now they're dead on board if they don't have another blocker. And if they only play one blocker here and I hit an untapped land, I get to Vraska's Contempt them. So, yeah. So if I hit an untapped land here, they should be dead. Rats. Looking at your Midrange the other day while on YouTube, and I haven't had a chance to watch everything yet. Is there consideration for Angrath? Yeah, it could probably be okay, McCullough. Honestly, that whole list felt a little bit lackluster, though. Yeah, I agree. I think this deck's pretty reasonable against tokens. I think you get to gain a little bit of life and have blockers, then you can fly over the top of them. Yeah, I took the Jundinos deck off my website because I feel like it's probably just a worse version of the Girl deck now. Mostly been a lurker for a while, but I'm impressed by what you do on stream, both in how you play, explain things, and keep a positive atmosphere. Well, thank you for the compliment, and thanks for supporting my stuff, Belf. Atlas, thank you for the 2 months. Welcome back. I appreciate you shipping that way again this month. I am streaming this from Linux. So I just play history here. Like, been waiting on this next land here for a while, and I'm sure when we finally draw the next land, it's going to be like the Memorial to Folly or the Guildgate to come into play tapped. Yep. Well, if they don't have another creature here. Yep, that's a 3/3. Yikes. Alright, well, we do have lethal next turn when this pops off. There are no copies of Angel of Grace in my deck. You can find the exact deck list for easy importing and reference on your screen via the Stream Decker widget. You can also type !deck in chat to get a link to the deck list. God, what are they? They're still dead, right? I have 3 lethal attack. I have 6 lethal attackers and they have 5 blockers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so they're still good. Didn't need the land anyways. How are we doing, folks? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everybody wherever you're at in the world. Thanks for dropping by here today. It's really awesome to have over 3,000 people hanging out for Standard here on Magic Arena. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I stream full-time here on Twitch. I'm here 30, 40, 50 hours a week. I play Standard best of 3 almost every afternoon. So if this is something that you find yourself enjoying, the way I play and all the decks that we go through, be sure to hit that follow button if you're new. As always, a big shout out to all of my subscribers. I wouldn't be here day in and day out without their support. Past my subscribers, I'm also kept here by my wonderful sponsors. The Nerd Rage Gaming Championship Series is a $5,000 cash tournament series that happens every single month in the Midwestern United States. If you can't make it out to the Midwest to play in one of their tournaments, you can also watch their streaming coverage every month at twitch.tv/NRG series. Neo provides wonderful candy-flavored protein bars. Using code Hoagland at bit.ly/HoogleBar, you can save 10% on all of your orders there with them. BCWSupplies.com. We love to help you protect your very valuable Magic the Gathering cards. They do sleeves, deck boxes, binders, and all sorts of other fantastic stuff. And you can use code Jeff10 to save 10% on all of your purchases there with them. And of course, I'd like everybody to thank you for dropping by here today. Welcome to Hoaglandia. There's a lot of different people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now, and I appreciate you choosing to spend part of your day here with us. We are playing some more Black-White Angels here today. This is one of my favorite mid-range decks in the format so far. We've got probably like another hour or so with Black-White Angels before we move along to Blue-Green Fish. We usually play every deck on this channel for somewhere between 90 minutes or somewhere between 60 minutes and 2 hours, depending on how well they are playing out. Well, I mean, if they're playing green-black, this hand's really good. Was Bant controlled today? I'm not seeing it on YouTube. We didn't play Bant today? No, I don't think so. What did we play before? We played Black-White Aristocrats in the set before this. This is the second standard deck of the day. Oh no. Oh no, I know I just shilled, but I should have restarted while I was shilling. So, my audio likes to go Mr. Roboto every 3 hours or so. So I'm gonna kick this real quick here, sorry. Should have thought about that and done it mid-shill instead of jumping into a match. Oh, we played Jeskai too. This is the third deck today. Yeah, we played Jeskai and the Aristocrats. There's so many decks in so many days, they all start to blur together. Ooh, let's not play that one because that's a Guildgate. Drawing a 6 land feels a little bit bad, but hopefully Tocatli's going to be really good. Would Knight of Malice or Grace be playable over Tocatli main? Yeah, I think those cards are fine. For reference, I really like Tocatli in the main. I think it's a nice hedge. I also expect green-black to be very popular still. But I think if you didn't want to hedge green-black, you could play something like a Knight. You could also play Orzhov Enforcer is a card that I've been interested in trying. I think that card's potentially very good. If you are wanting to submit a deck name from someone who has an offensive content name for whatever god-awful reason, I'm going to ask you to repost it on a neutral site such as MTG Goldfish. I think I want to just play Seraph here, right? If I curve Seraph into Lyra, that seems good. I chose not to attack with my Tocatli Honor Guard here because my opponent is likely playing a Frilled Mystic deck, and while Frilled Mystic can't counter a spell while this is in play, they could flash Frilled Mystic into play and eat my Tocatli inside of combat, which would be bad for me. If this is a Wilderness Reclamation deck, I'm probably going to have a bad time game 1, but post-board we have a lot of good tools. This is a fantastic curve here. I get to go Lyra, and the next turn I get to gain 5, plus play both of these and make another 4/4. Yeah, one of the reasons why I like Tocatli is because it's not only good against green-black, but it's also good against mono-red. It blocks their early pressure nicely, and it shuts off Vanisho and also Goblin Chain Whirler. Hedge means to prepare for it ahead of time, basically. They are very dead. Their Temur deck does not have sweepers. I don't upload midstream. If you'd like to watch a video that I've already played today before it's uploaded to YouTube, if you subscribe to my channel, you can watch my past Twitch pods. But otherwise, you have to wait till it goes to YouTube later tonight. How good would you say this deck would do in best of 1? Probably pretty well. I might change a couple of things to pull the curve down a bit to make it better against aggro, but the main deck better against aggro. Like, I probably wouldn't play Adanto Vanguard in the best of 1 ladder, because Adanto Vanguard isn't good against mono red. The Twitch VODs and YouTube do not have the mouse over overlay. I assume we're about to just get fogged out of the game, right? So, we get to bring in a bunch of Duresses post-board. I think my opponent's deck is pretty unlikely to play Spell Pierce, but you're right. We could technically sequence around it, so we should. The actual difference is like, it's like only upside, no potential downside. I assume they're just going to cast Fogs the rest of the game, and then we're going to die. There's no Settle the Wreckage in their deck, so I might as well just smash with things. Yay, magic! No, the bit animation should pop up at 100 Lepis. I'm pretty sure I resolved my small latency issue that I was having. Let's sit down for a bit, chat. Enjoy the ride. Hope nobody gets motion sick. Damn it. Darn it, desk. If the stupid desk would cooperate. Oh. We have 2 honor guards in the main deck waffle. So this is game 1. Oh. Whee! Please be dead. Please be dead. Please be dead. The Chemist and Insight main phase here might imply that they found a wilderness reclamation or at least are digging for one. Hopefully they need to find their 3rd copy of a 2-mana fog, which is not impossible. It's unlikely, but not impossible. Shouldn't have played the Vanguard, because now you can't tap your mana. And Hat Crab Zombie with the Z-axis correct plays. Oh my... McCullough? Maybe missed it. I thought we're good. I'm gonna beat myself for a hot second here while I eat a Neo bar, actually. It's getting hangry. It's snacky time. How was Zoidbergen? Zoidbergen Flash was really good, McCullough. I liked it a lot. I don't know if the accelerants are good. I want to try Incubation Druid, but I am confident that the Crab is good. And the Crab is going to be good in basically every... Crab is going to be good in basically every green deck this season until it rotates. Does my chair damage my anti-fatigue mat? My anti-fatigue mat is really small, so my chair is not sitting on it. The anti-fatigue mat's like big enough for like just me. You can read my thoughts on cards I liked out of the Aristocrats and everything else this standard season at bit.ly/Google articles. Yeah, I haven't updated that yet, McCullough, because I'm not 100% confident on all the changes I want to make. So, like, I'm a pretty big fan of conceding as soon as you're dead, or maybe even a little bit before, but my opponent's just currently spinning their tires. They're not doing anything meaningful. So, like, you know, what's the deal? Can you talk about why you still MTGO? You made it clear this is your job, and you will gravitate towards the outcome of the best performance. Your arena number easily 5x MTGO. Yeah, so there's a reason why I've made MTGO less and less. Polar Scribe, thank you for gifting that sub, Gifty. I appreciate that. So there's a reason why we were doing 2 days of MTGO, then a couple of leagues of MTGO in the morning, and now we're doing 1 league. So I've made a commitment to playing a given set of decks on MTGO. And I am going to see out that commitment. People have sent me dollar dues to play them. I am maximizing arena time, definitely, while new standard is popular at that too. But I'm not just going to send back money and like say, hey, I'm not going to do this when I committed to it. I am many things, but I am not a liar. Well, they have Expansion Explosion. So Expansion Explosion's a win con. I don't know, Nopik. So like even before the new set released, my arena numbers were much better than all of my moto numbers. I'm dead to Expansion Explosion, right? They have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and they're gonna untap twice. Yeah, I'm dead to Expansion Explosion. Let's go ahead and move along. So I get to bring in Duress. Immortal Sun's actually not very good here. I don't look to have any Planeswalkers either. Guess I'll bring in Arguel's Bloodfest to draw some extra cards. Consecrate's fine as a cantrip. It's not very good otherwise, but at least draws a card. It's going to take them a long time to tap mana, and we're pretty likely to die from there, so might as well just, like, save myself. So, like, you need to remember that, like, when I sit here and waste my time, I'm wasting, if I waste 60 seconds on stream, I'm currently wasting 60 seconds times 3,200. I'm wasting literal days of human life if I sit there while it's boring, so I might as well move along with my life. Brain Frozen, thanks for the 9-month resub, I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, Consume is good for their creature board plan too, that's true. I'm also leaving Mortify in to kill enchantments, so like, their creature board plan is not stellar against us. Your job title is basically wasting literal days of human life, lead into it. That's fair, I suppose. The math says if you waste 60 seconds and 2.2 days of human life. Yeah, sounds great. Do I duress on 1? Probably. Probably want to duress on 1. Duress on 1 can take a Search for its Canto away from them before they play it. So I'm definitely playing Adanto Vanguard on 2. I think I'm actually going to take the Growth Spiral because, like, 1 Fog's not a big deal. Just want to slow them down. Perfect. Yeah, I want to hold this Duress to the turn before I make a lethal attack. You got him. I don't even want to calculate how much time Ninja spent. Ninja does in viewer hours. They're good stuff, pretty sick. So I want to do this post-combat, because this way my opponent, if this is their only instant or sorcery, they can't just cast it. Alright, now I'm going to take the Root Snare. They can keep their Chemister's Insight. Power his pizza. Alright, well, this is an attack for 7, and then we'll play Seraph of the Scales, which puts them dead on board, so they're going to need to start fogging. Wonderful animation. Oh, that's sad, buddy. We're checking out their options. They actually permanently banned Alex Buffle. He got caught cheating again, and they gave him a lifetime. God bless. I think I'm pretty happy with how I sideboarded. You used the sideboard, beat Turbo Fog. Unreal. Weird, right? Had sideboard cards for the matchup, drew them. It was great. I think this is fine. Not amazing, but fine. Alex Bertoncini got banned for cheating. He's he's like a serial cheater. He's been banned many times. Is Seraph the Scales good in a lava coil format? Yeah. I think playing the creature is fine, in spite of the fact that my opponent might cast Doomblade. How does one cheat in Magic the Gathering? Generally, you cheat by, that's an adorable sideboard plan. In many ways, it's adorable. This can't possibly be good against my deck full of Lyras, right? Is this plan good against my deck full of Lyras? It can't be. You know, we've been a lot of people ragging on the breeding pool sound. The Godless Shrine sound is A+. It's really good. You can find a bunch of my favorite decks to play on my website. Over the weekend, I went ahead and updated it with all my favorite decks from the new set. I think I actually want to Mortify this rather than do something else this turn. My sequencing here is technically incorrect. I should have waited for them to resolve this opt and then cast it during my end step afterwards. Knowing that their Wilderness Reclamation is going to be dead could impact what card they take there. Little bit punished for burning my Mortify when I did. This card's gonna be a tough nut to crack. Yeah, I think I probably should have saved. Maybe I should have saved. I genuinely don't know. Lyra is at least gonna give me enough life to attack through it, so I've got that going for me. I saw the Mystic in game 1, so I knew they had it in their 75. That's probably not an unreasonable assumption they were going to have it in post board. They have a Chemister's Insight here, too. Insight is definitely one of their better cards they could have there. Alright, if we put them under the double Abyss here, it's probably fine. This card also gets to play offense and defense simultaneously, so that's nice. We get even like 1 or 2 more hits in here. Our health total's gonna grow out of control very quickly too, which is great. If we can dodge a Chemist's Insight for a little while here, we should be in a good spot. But if they find that card, we're gonna be in trouble. I guess Nexus is a little annoying at this point too. Nope. Alright, well, we're not drawing a lot of spells, but neither are they, so... I mean, I assume they can win with creatures when we have a lot of life. They can't win with their combo game plan, but I assume they board out a lot of their combo game plan to board in more creatures. We need to dodge 70% of their deck? I don't think that's true. Like, they've diluted their primary game plan post-board. Like, do bring in cards like this. Make sure we give this Vigilance. Killing one of these is more important than killing the Wilderness Reclamation. Alright. Just in time. Hey, Bedwrath with the brand new Prime support. Thank you very much and welcome. Hope you're having a good one wherever you're at. Thanks for the support. Yeah, see, that makes them pretty likely to hit like an Nexus here, too. The good news is that the number of birds they need to kill me through Seraph on defense is, like, incredibly high. Do we have an out here? Yeah, drawing spells and then attacking with enough angels to go wide around them. If I draw a copy of the 3/3 angel that makes a token when we gain life, we make angels very quickly and just like abyss them out of the game. Well, thanks, Bedwrath. I appreciate it. So we've had 5 and 10 lands and 17 cards. So yeah, I think we probably needed like 1 more angel this game, 1 to 2 more. I didn't attack with the Seraph because they'd block with 4 tokens and kill my Seraph inside of combat. Jack Leafo, thanks for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. I'm gonna go ahead and save all of our time. They're out of spells. God, that feels so bad. I guess I'm supposed to keep doing this. I don't know if they keep bricking 2. Like if we hit the 3/3 angel and they keep bricking 2, like we could be in a very good spot. Thanks, Empty Hex. We don't play the 1/1 enchantment Pandays. It's not very good. And even if I did play it, I wouldn't board it in here. Yeah, you should read the text on Consume. I think you're confused as to what Consume does, if you think I could have killed a Mystic with it. They're also drawing very poorly. I really hate the chess timer, and I greatly prefer Magic Arena's system. I don't have a way to trample, but if I hit the angel that makes more angels, we'll be in a very good spot. John Avon better watch out, because I'm practicing drawing lands here. I'm coming for him. Like, as annoying as Root Stare is there, it's like better than them drawing cantrips or cards that draw cards, right? I mean, if we draw, even if we draw like a Memorial to Folly, we'd be able to like get another Angel back, which would be good here. I drew one of my powerful sideboard cards. I mean, to be fair, like, our opponent's drawing incredibly poorly, too, right? Like, they hit Chemist's Insight, they just, like, put us in a tiny box and put us in the ground, like... I mean, all things considered, if we both keep drawing lands, I'm gonna win this, right? Cranky, as always, I enjoy your content. If you haven't seen much of the new set, yeah, the new set seems sweet. Thanks for the 4 months. And Empty Hex, like I said earlier, love your content. Love that you take constructive criticism and keep doing what you do. Well, thanks for the 3 months. Welcome back. Flood beats flood, right? All right, this is a scary draw. It means they're probably going to chain some stuff together. They find like a Nexus or something. They just like go off. Oh no, they put a card on top. I assume that means we're dead. Yeah, I think I needed to hit the Angel that makes Angels before they hit cantrips. So like, there weren't any of the 4 Angels in the top 25 cards of our deck. Well, like, eventually, if they take infinite turns, taking infinite turns is going to make infinite burn tokens, and they'll just go wide and kill us from whatever our health total is. Stockholm Syndrome caused them to top a land. Al Snow, thank you for the brand new Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for shipping that this way this month. They're mousing over my stuff like they might have a removal spell. Did they draw Shivan Fire, maybe? They could have drawn Shivan Fire. Niv with the $20 tip. Thank you very, very much for that. I appreciate it. I think this is enough to get rid of land destruction to tomorrow. I want to play at the RPTQ next month, so I'd like some thoughts. Definitely. Sounds good. Thanks for the support. That's enough for me. I think it was much worse than the Rakdos version, Ghosty. My wrap up at the end was that it just felt worse than having red cards. Fireblade and what's it called? Fireblade and Judith are both fantastic. I was right. They did in fact draw a removal spell. Confirmed Doomblade. Remember when people thought that card was just going to be worse than... than Sphinx's Revelation? It's just different, right? I would love to play first. Not amazing, but definitely keepable. Yeah, the Raptor didn't seem very good. Trades? Wow. Okay, deal. In. We did not. Our opponent drew an explosion and drew a lot of cards. I don't know. I'm like trying to think like what does the blue solve for you? I guess counter spells out of blue are good against sweepers. So it like fixes that axis nicely. Lands, please. Ding, ding. Yeah, the art on all these tokens is really good. The new Thopter token is fantastic as well. It doesn't matter, Kirk. It just really doesn't. It's one of those things where it's just like, at the end of the day, it's just irrelevant. I'm winning this race, right? I'm winning the race and I have Lyra in my hand to gain life back with, so I might as well just take this hit and save Mortify for something bigger. Should have saved some of the lands from last game. We curved out nice here. We hit Lyra on 5. That's really all you can ask for. If they miss a land drop again here, I'm probably going to kill this Land War Elves. Yeah, definitely killing the Land War Elves. Biomancer's Familiar helps with Clan Caller. That's a really sweet added. I like that, G-Butt. That could be sweet. That could be really good. I like Tocatli here. It's great. Cast down is fine. Consecrate's okay. What do I usually trim in this matchup? So Adanto Vanguard was good there. Is it Adanto Vanguard or Tithe Taker? I think Tithe Taker is probably a little bit better because it leaves this body behind that flies. So I think I'm going to trim that. We'll bring in our Immortal Sun. That's pretty clean. I can't decide if I want this one Kaya's Wrath as a hedge against aggro or if I just want another Immortal Sun. With the 4 Moment of Cravings and the 4 Tocatlis, I might not need this Kaya's Wrath anymore. I think I might swap this to a second Immortal Sun. Gosh, all the hands that are just spells look so good. Just like, gosh, all these spells are great. This hand is excellent. Turn 2 Tocatli is basically just our best play in this matchup, and it's not close. I'm playing the Isolated Chapel on 1 purely for the fact that it'll make people ask why we played the Isolated Chapel on 1. It's the power play, really. Rats. If you're holding 7 spells and you think these cards suck, you should reevaluate your deck. Firm agree. Our curve here is quite fantastic. The fact they burn to cast down there means maybe Resplendent or Seraph will live. We have a Mortify to deal with that down the line. Yeah, I think this deck's great. I think the card quality of what this deck has going on is quite excellent. I think because they have Jade Light on top here, I need to take this turn to mortify this. I'm going to hold this back so these extra elves don't attack, but I'm not going to trade with Merfolk Branchwalker. Ideally, we're going to draw lands for the next 2 turns, so that way I can curve out into activating this. Yeah, but this deck doesn't have those sequences where you can get punished for it. Seraph of the Scales is a nice answer to Carnage Tyrant because it gains Death Touch, which is great. So, ideally, you want to draw a couple of lands here. Tocatli on our guard. You're a little bit late to the party, babe. A little bit late to the party. So, do I want to go Taker into Tocatli? I think I want to go Taker into Tocatli. Yeah, I could have saved my Mortify and killed their first Murmuring Mystic, and then I would have been able to pressure them out of the game. I also could have, like, just drawn spells, too, but I can't really control that. So I'm going to take these trades here, and then hopefully we're going to draw a land so we can play this and make it get Death Touch. Perfect. Tocatli keeps the elves at bay, which is nice. It might have been a little bit too conservative to trade this for the 4-3. I think the Angel is fine if the only way to do it is itself. I think that's more than reasonable. Whoop. Hold on, folks. I'm gonna do it again. Yeah, I think I punted with my block earlier. I think my block was too defensive. I should have held out to make angel tokens. Okay. Okay. I think they might have accidentally misclicked the elf attack. They might have misclicked the elf attack. That's probably what happened there, right? They probably misclicked the elf attack. It's not that bad, but it's like not great either. Looking for a land. To build one more deck. For the competitiveness, would you advise straight, red, black, or Mardu aggro? I like both of them, honestly. And like the cards you're building in Mardu are gonna port to other decks. So if you like the Mardu deck, you're probably fine to build it. Yeah, the growth surrounding Magic Arena has just been absurd. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Glad everybody else is enjoying Arena and Standard as much as I am. Glad to have y'all here. We're gonna give our opponent a history lesson here. Let them know what's up. Fog. Looks like faint fog. Yeah, the problem is they're getting to 5 lands this turn, so if they're on Cleansing Nova, they could Cleansing Nova me, but like I don't have that much pressure in play, so I think I need to get more pressure down. Oh, they're a Guildgate deck. Interesting. No, Nexus of Fate is a replacement effect. It is not a trigger. So Nexus of Fate never actually enters the graveyard. So, do I Mortify Guild Summit or do I Mortify the Gift? They have red mana regardless. So if they have Gates Ablaze, my creatures are dying. So I definitely don't want to play another Angel out because I don't want to play into Gates Ablaze. It's probably Guild Summit, right? Because this gives them less of a chance to draw Gates Ablaze. Yeah, Summit gives them an extra draw at their sweeper if they don't already have it. So they're dead through one blocker. They need the Gates Ablaze here. And we have the removal spell as well. This is really unfortunate because now I have to attack with everything, and if they have Settle the Wreckage, I just got. Okay. Jeskai went really well. Archetype Field's really powerful still, unsurprisingly. Deck full of good cards from last season, still full of good cards, very reasonable. It's a shame we don't have 2 Tithe Takers here, so we could have lethal in board through a sweeper. I assume there's still a Nexus of Fate deck. Just gonna do this so it can auto pass for me. I think Unmoored Eagle is more play. No, I don't think Unmoored Eagle is very playable. Generally speaking, all of the good builds of the Nexus decks should be sideboarding an additional threat, so they just get to not care. They just get to not care about it. So, I think you'll probably beat some bad people with your deck, but in general, it's not great. You cannot exile Nexus of Fate in response. That's not how that works. It is a replacement effect. It's not a trigger, so it just goes right back into your deck. Yeah, it was sweet. In fact, Light Up the Stage was probably better than Skewer. I assume we're dead here. I feel like the opponent's build is like hard leaned into the strengths of this deck. Like, there's no way their deck ever beats aggro with like having a bunch of like regular Nexus struggles to beat aggro. So like they took regular Nexus and added a bunch of tap lands to it, which seems pretty rancid against aggro. But against mid-range decks like mine, it's definitely very reasonable. Seems fine. Seems like the board plan. They're pretty, we're not 0% to win that game at that point, but we're pretty unlikely, so I'm just gonna go ahead and move along with my life. You too, EWM, EMW, EMW, that's fun. Bert. Lots of Magic players are upset with lots of things. Basically, people get upset that other people like Magics in ways that are different than them, which is weird. I've been playing Gates. It can be rough, but lifelink from Deafening Clarion on Ram, that's funny. I don't know, like, if you're drawing your Deafening Clarion and you still need Ram and stuff like that, your deck's probably pretty bad against aggro. Like, honestly, and when I say bad against aggro, people always like are, but wait, Jeff, I've got this draw that works. When I say you're bad against aggro, I mean your average draw loses to aggro's average draw. That's how you compare decks. You say, what does this deck do on average? What does my deck do on average? What happens when we both have our average? Reprint to Vault with the 17 months. Thank you very much and welcome back. I appreciate that. Is it being upset the default state? Yeah, it really is. Red, I would really love to see what the overlap is on the Venn diagram of people who think red decks are too good and people who don't put spells that cost less than 3 mana in their deck is. I feel like there's a lot of overlap between those two groups of people. Just like people who complain about mono red and people who have no respect for mono red when building their deck. Well, I think there's people playing best of one that probably still don't respect red when they build their decks. The Venn diagram is a circle. It's funny because it's sad. I'm a Magic player and I am upset. Here is my story. I have no idea what Saffron all the Sultai build looks like. I know we tried a Sultai build on stream and it felt really bad. And then we tried Temur and it felt great. Hey, what's going on there, End? Thanks for the 9 months. I appreciate the 3/4 of a year. Welcome back. It kind of awkward they're like 1 point of damage short of killing them next turn. I'm not even sure I want a Wrath in general in this deck, and I think with Mortify, I don't really need to hedge anything. Okay. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to feel. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to feel about that. I think the answer is I am happy, but the jury might also still be out. Happy apparently is the correct response. Happy is apparently the correct response. I just wanted to see the animation. The animation was sweet, to be fair. The addendum animation seems awesome. Like many of the animations here. Like the stage up in Burn was great. Yeah, it was a modern deck. Exceeded expectations. The scene seems great. Tithe Taker into History is a heck of a curve. Go 2, 3, 4. How do we feel about Jund midrange? The midrange build we played wasn't great. We played a Jund aggro deck, Jund Judith, that felt really good. Jund Judy. No Jeskai today. We played Jeskai the set before this one. So it'll be up on YouTube tonight. As I play decks throughout the course of the day, I take them out of the stream title. So my current stream title always tells you what to expect as we continue the stream. You'll notice I cleverly put the blue-green turns at the end of the stream, because I assume we're going to lose viewers during that one. It is in fact a Portillo shirt. When they opened the Portillos down here, they were giving out free shirts. This stream is in no way sponsored or endorsed by Portillo's, but Portillo's, if you're out there, it certainly could be. So if they play the sweeper next turn, I'll have 3 power left over here, and then I can start bloodfesting. Did you eat Portillo's? Yeah, they have a veggie croissant that's reasonable, and their cheese fries are great. I'm a big fan of cheese fries. Hey, Dragon, thanks for the 3-month resub. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for the quarter of a year. Yeah, UG turns means taking turns, taking extra turns. Nexus of Fate is the taking extra turns card in this format. Yeah, their cheese sauce is AA+. So this is them drawing 2 cards. Next turn I'm attacking for 14, and I get 3 looks at a... Duress. I live in central Illinois, about 2 hours south of Chicago. Cheese is not vegan. I'm not a vegan, I'm a vegetarian. I eat food that I like. Sorry, 2 draws, not 3. Speaking of eating, I even remember to leave a spoon down here. God bless. It's always awkward when 3,000 people online have to watch me tongue a fruit cup because I forgot to bring a spoon down with me. Kyle, thanks for the 4 months. Thanks for shipping your Prime back this way again this month. I appreciate it. All right, are we getting Nexus? We might be getting Nexus, chat. Hey, Jacob Firestar with the brand new Prime support. Thank you, I appreciate that. I'm activating this so it can stop asking me to pass priority. Kason with the biddies. Vargosaurus Rex with the brand new Prime support. Thank you and welcome. Grandpa Mason, 6 months till I get the sword. It's dark times when Elder has to pick up a sword to defend the realm from these trolls. What's going on? Think we're done. This game's probably over. Weren't quite fast enough to get under them. Didn't see a Duress early. Opponent didn't let me draw 7 cards to draw on a Duress. Very sad. We've not tried the gate payoff deck yet. I'm uncertain how the gate payoff deck ever beats a basic mountain. I feel like that's probably not something it's capable of. Alright, let's draw an untapped white source here. Draw Planeswalker Godless Shrine. Yeah, when they reset everything, they reset the MMR, and once we built the MMR back up, the matchmaking's been really good. Got to play game 1 both times, sounds right. It is really good, G-Butts. Listen, if you want a counter example to most people are ready against Burn right now, I'd encourage you to go open the Arena subreddit and spend like 30 seconds reading, and you'll be quickly convinced that in fact most people are not ready for Burn right now. My 13-year-old loves playing lifelink decks with cats or vampires. Any suggestions on decks? We haven't played vampires yet. I have a black-white vampire build around coming up. I'm not sure if we're gonna get to it this week or early next week, but excuse me, I'll have something up for that soon, I swear. Sometime soon. Easy attack here. Gobble, gobble. My knight is a hungry boy. Smush. In the upper right-hand corner of your arena window, there's a slider that says all game modes. Click that and you'll get traditional play. They hide best of 3 behind that slider to discourage people from playing it. Yeah, Jacob, I think this is one of the better mid-range decks in the format right now. I think green-black is still a great choice, but I think this deck is very good. I'm very, very pleased with this deck has going on. Orzhov Enforcer seems like a sweet card. I think this card's gonna be a standard staple when things get shaken out. It's very reasonable. Non-centrical. Thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. The Arena Forum has consolidated all the Shuffler bug threads into one mega thread, and somebody actually opened a thread titled, "Why do we need the Shuffler mega thread?" Oh, this feels real bad.
No one said restoration was painless.
Thanks, Nonsensical. I really appreciate that. Thanks for taking the time to get that set up. Yeah, this card, like, especially, like, it's absurd with Midnight Rebirth good on its own. Honestly, this is a card I should probably consider for this deck. It's like, it's a removal spell because it has Death Touch instead of combat, and then leaving a 1/1 behind is very valuable. It's also a removal spell. Well, obviously this card's not good against control. It's, like, less bad than a cast down is against control, right? Because, like, a 1/2 at least still attacks.
Come to me.
I agree. My saying they hit it behind a slider to discourage people from playing best of 3 was a little bit overly negative. However, it's hard to not be minorly negative when they cite things like their 97% statistic while putting it behind a slider. If you want this deck to be better against aggro, you should cut the Adanto Vanguards and play Enforcers. That being said, I think this deck is better against aggro than it is against control, so I definitely would prefer to play Adanto in the main, because I like to hedge control. Would you say that the decks you tune are for the arena best of 3 are generally acceptable for play? Yeah, definitely. Paper best of 3 and digital best of 3 in standard is generally identical. There's some differences in formats like Modern, because some decks in Modern are, like, impossible to play in digital, but in paper and standard, they're generally just as playable. Well, I have Consume to kill that, but then I don't have a removal spell for Midnight Reaper anymore. I think in any deck that can cast Shalai and Seraph of the Scales, you should cast Seraph of the Scales. I think this card's much better. It plays offense and defense simultaneously, and it trades with things like this, which is nice. Wow, this attack is hyper aggressive. I like attacking with these two, because, like, they draw cards at these dies, but this attack, I think, is really bad. Deal. Super, super excited to take this block. I'm not trading these here yet because I don't want them to draw a card when this dies. I guess if they have a cast down, I get into trouble now. Let's give this Vigilance and kill Vivian. I'm actually going to go ahead and consume pre-combat as well, because this way I get to attack with my knight at their face, because they don't have a good blocker. This card, Orzhov Enforcer, the one my opponent's playing. Yeah, consume is a really elegant answer to Carnage Tyrant in this format. There's so many good answers to Carnage Tyrant, and the fact that, like this is an answer to Carnage Tyrant. It blocks. I feel like when control players complain about Carnage Tyrant being difficult to interact with, they're being willfully ignorant to the fact that you can interact with it inside of combat. You're just like, no, I am a control player. I do not get my hands dirty inside of combat. Carnage Tyrant is cheating. I've not played Terraforming Mars. I've heard other people talk about that game, though. What's this combat step of which you speak, right? That's what we like to refer to as animation EV in the biz. That's great. So here's the thing though, Jesse. Do you know why they print cards with can't be countered on them? They print cards with can't be countered on them so they can print cards like Absorb and Teferi. Control decks, like every other archetype in this format, have an absurd number of answers to a variety of things. It's one of the things that makes the format awesome, is the number of answers that exist in it. Hey, B-Mull with the brand new tier 1 sub. Thank you very much and welcome. I appreciate that. Think I'm gonna run the no blocks here. I think I'm gonna offer this trade because I can Consecrate to get rid of this. I choose you, Pikachu. There's something at Banded Standard? Nope. Standard's great. It's got a wonderful balance of answers and threats. Finality would kind of suck for me here. Probably gonna pick Lyra back up next turn. Do I pick Lyra back up or do I pick up Resplendent Angel? I might pick up Resplendent Angel because well, now we're not picking up Resplendent Angel. Because Resplendent Angel gets killed by this. You think I want to pick up Seraph, really?
Please run. No fire, no steel.
No steel. Do I want Seraph? I kind of feel like I need the life gain. I think I want the life gain. I don't want to attack these in because all of their creatures draw them cards when they die. So I'd prefer if they didn't draw cards here, because if they draw a bunch of cards, we're gonna lose parity. We're like at pseudo parity at the moment. That's true, I guess. I could grab the 3/3 Angel because I am hitting this to 2. Maybe that's a reasonable play. Definitely didn't think about that.
No fire, no steel.
And the great thing about getting Lyra is much better against Finality, but like you could probably also argue that like I'm not beating Finality regardless, just because they draw so many cards. If they draw one more brick here, we're actually gonna be in a really good spot because like they're dead on board.
Ram a new course free.
So they're dead in the air here. I'm not blocking anything on the ground. Wow, this game was such a great example of why the Angels deck wins a lot of matches in this format like that. Just literally going over the top of what the opponent is doing. Did Grixis get cards in the new set? Yeah, it got Blood Crypt is a big deal. It also got Bedevil. There's a Grixis Dragons deck in the queue we're gonna get to at some point. That was my favorite Grixis deck last season for sure. I think this is fine sideboarding. I don't think I want Bloodfast in this matchup. Can we pour one out for Consecrate, by the way? Consecrate Consume was definitely the MVP of that game. This card's been really impressive. Been really happy with 3 of those. Yeah, but Grixis Control, Theater's not a great, it's like an okay control card I got. Okay control card. I guess the Dragons have some pressure to enable it. This hand's like nothing you write home about, but it's definitely like in the range of keepable 7s. Counter spells and discard are the only way blue-black can answer enchantments. Splashing green is another answer. Out of the new guilds. Orzhov and Gruul have felt the most reasonable. This Orzhov deck is one of my favorites for new guilds, and then the Gruul monsters have felt pretty reasonable. It's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B garden variety. The fact that, like, even when this card's not great, it draws a card is really powerful as well. We actually kind of wanted this to hit a land, because as a 4/3, my Night Token can't block it. I think I just need to get this down ASAP, in case they have another Jadelight Ranger. They also have Ravenous Chupacabra that this shuts down. Kitesail Freebooter is interesting. I could see that being good. I definitely think the Nexus matchup could stand a touch of help, so that doesn't seem like an unreasonable card to include there. You know, I don't really care about my win-loss rate. My record with a given deck doesn't tell me if a deck is good or not. Yeah, this is the black-white deck Babante's been playing around with, Ace. This is the one and the same. So I have to take another hit inside of combat here. Oh, second Midnight Reaper is a tough nut to crack. Yeah, now I have to trade. They're going to draw a bunch of cards. So we were ahead, but now they get to gas back up, which sucks. Hopefully they draw a bunch of cards that Tocatli Honor Guard just turns off. I have to take another hit again next turn. Lyra is excellent. Do I just play this? Gosh, do I just play this? Like, I don't... Yeah, I'm just going to play this. Hopefully we draw a land next turn and get to play 2/3 drops. If we get Vivian, it's going to feel bad, but I feel like this is our best shot to win. Thanks, CW. Thanks for dropping in. Thanks for the compliment. I think Bellhaunt is fine in specific decks. I think this archetype has too many 4 and 5 mana spells in it already to include something like Bellhaunt, but I think Bellhaunt's a very playable card. We played Bellhaunt in the Esper hero deck we played as the last deck yesterday, and it was really impressive there. Okay, well, that's not amazing. I guess they can borrow Lyra.
Seen water burn?
You have a seed, water burn.
Crew for my freedom.
So this forces me to block a little bit, I guess, here. This forces my Honor Guard off the table. But it also takes their Midnight Reaper out, and I'm at 3. Not hitting a land there feels a little bit bad. Oh, I guess I get to Resplendent Angel's actually great, right? That's a heck of a top deck. So now they have 2 flying threats they need to answer. And both of these have lifelink. How do you shake off the frustration from a losing streak? Take a break, change decks, change formats. If you're playing best of 1, play best of 3. If you're playing constructed, play limited. Etc, etc. That's one of the reasons actually why I'm really looking forward to... Oh, this game is over. Oh, are you ready to consume, chat? Are you ready for some consumption? Consume. Man, we're gonna go from 3 to above 20 in just like 1 turn. Who's a hungry boy? I've got a hankering for some carnage, Tyrant chat. What do you think? Hankering for some... Yeah, bye, friend. Bye. Oh, this deck is great. Definitely a fan of this one. Black-White Angels, what do we got going on here? So, overall, your hardest matchup for a deck like this is probably something like the Nexus decks, and you're definitely not 0% there. Someone in chat actually made a really good suggestion that I kind of like. They suggested more discard in the form of Kitesail Freebooter, and I actually kind of like that suggestion. The Kaya's Wrath has been whatever. This Cast Down and this Immortal Sun have been kind of whatever. So I wouldn't mind fitting like 2 of these in here. Maybe trimming. I think I want to trim the Cast Down. Maybe. I don't know. It's definitely one of those. Maybe one. Nah, I want the Moment of Cravings for the aggro. Hey, Krillum. Thank you very much for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. It's probably Immortal Sun. I think that seems like a reasonable swap. But yeah, I've really been impressed with this deck. This is one of my favorite mid-range decks. This is my favorite mid-range deck from the new guilds, and I think it's very reasonably competitive. Isn't Kitesail a dud if you have Tocatli? Yeah, you don't board in Tocatli and Kitesail in the same matchup. And when you board this in, you board this out. So, all right, what are we doing next? We're gonna get a little smorky up next. We got blue-green Merfolk coming up. Let's get that deck list up here on screen. I'm going to make a note to update the Black-White Angels on my website. Something people often ask me is like, how do I know when you've updated the decks on your site? The decks on my site are always updated. Whenever there's a new piece of technology that I find or something else that I pick up somewhere online or on stream, I always update them at the end of the stream. All right. Let the smorking begin. We actually played a Black-White Aristocrats deck this morning, Fliptos. It was okay, a little bit middling. You'll want to check out the replay for sure. Life, thanks for the 13 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. I appreciate the over a year. And another. The exact deck list will be up on Stream Decker here in a second, so people asking questions about the mana base and stuff like that can be answered.